In these problems, we need to add some fractions, and the problem is that their denominators, the number on the bottom, are not the same. And you can't add or subtract fractions unless the denominators are the same. So what can we do to get these denominators the same? Well, I notice 7 and 14, they have kind of a relationship, because if you multiply 7 by 2, you'd get 14. So that would be really great if I could multiply 7 by 2 down here, because then I'd have the same denominator. And I'm allowed to do that as long as I multiply the top by the same number. What I'm really doing is multiplying by 2 over 2. And 2 over 2 equals 1. If you don't believe me, type it into your calculator. 2 divided by 2, it's 1. In fact, 3 over 3 equals 1. Anything over itself equals 1. So when you're working with fractions and you're trying to change the denominators, you can multiply by any form of 1. In this case, I'm going to multiply by 2 over 2. And remember, when you multiply, you have to multiply across the bottom and across the top. So if I do that, I get 2 times 6, that's 12. And 2 times 7 on the bottom is 14. So 6 sevenths is the same thing as 12 fourteenths. And now, because I have the denominators the same, I can go ahead and add them. So 12 plus 9, I add across the top, and then I just put it over the same denominator. I don't add the denominators. So 12 plus 9, and that's going to be 21 over 14. Now, this is an improper fraction, so we might want to simplify that. That would actually come out to be, well, let's see, I can take a 14 out of there, and that would leave me with, so if I took a 14 out of 21, that would be 14 fourteenths, or 1. That would leave me with 7 fourteenths. So this would be 1 and 7 fourteenths. But 7 fourteenths, that would simplify. I could divide the top by 7, divide the bottom by 7, and I would get 1/2. So that actually becomes 1/2. All right, let's look at the next one. We've got 2/5 and 17/20. So here, we want to find what can I multiply one of these denominators by to make the denominators the same. And it seems like I could multiply the 5 by 4, and that would make it a 20. So I'm going to multiply by 4 over 4. Remember, that just equals 1. You can multiply anything by 1. It doesn't really change what it is. So we're allowed to do that. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 5 is 20. So 2/5 is the same as 8/20. And now we can add that to the 17/20. Now we'll add across the top and place it over the denominator that they share. So 8 plus 17 is 25 over 20. And let's see, can we simplify that a little bit? Well, let's see, we can take 20 out of the top, and that would be 1, because 20/20 is 1. And that would leave 5/20. And I think we can simplify that even more. If we divide the top by 5 and the bottom by 5, that would be 1/4. So 1 and 1/4 is the answer on that one. So that's a little bit about adding fractions.